Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. And another heavyweight news mashup video today, starting with the WBO, which says that it is going to be postponing all WBO sanctioned events through June. So see here on screen, this is the message from its website. Important message: amidst the current situation worldwide caused by COVID-19, the WBO has postponed all boxing events through June 2020. We will update accordingly. So if that means, because it's slightly ambiguous, does that mean until June or until the end of June? But if it is the latter, then it will capture a big heavyweight fight in June between Anthony Joshua and Kubrat Pulev. Kubrat Pulev, the IBF mandatory challenger, but Joshua would be defending his WBO title. Unless, of course, they decided they wouldn't be putting that one up there, but I think they would be. It's more than likely with the current situation that that event is going to get postponed and probably pushed back. As it is, Kubrat Pulev on his Facebook page has indicated as much, saying that it could be pushed back a number of months. Although the promoter for Anthony Joshua, Eddie Hearn, has been sort of quick to sort of say, look, there's been no decisions on that just yet. But given the current situation, that does look inevitable. As it is, it looks like there could be no boxing on the horizon for a number of months. But that hasn't stopped Kubrat Pulev training for the moment. He's training as if the event is going ahead. And here is a clip from his social media of him and his team trolling Anthony Joshua.
Right.
Anthony Joshua, we are coming for you. King's Hunt. Do you know what is King's Hunt? I hope you come to fight. Not like the last times with Ruiz. You quitter.
And Kubrat Pulev says he's ready whenever it happens, telling the Mirror, I'm ready for June 20, July 25. You see what the situation is. The whole world must adjust to it. There's no problem if the fight is to be without spectators. Everyone would be at home. They can pay-per-view, so I don't see any problem financially. The show could be lost a bit without fans, but it can still happen. After all, it's a world championship which must take place. And just briefly, one of the sparring partners that has been in camp with Kubrat Pulev is Wallisch. As you can see here, he is on the left of picture. The Gypsy King Tyson Fury has delivered a message to fans saying that everyone should stay safe, stay at home, but he's also given an update of what he intends to do while he is working out from home.
Hi everybody, good evening first of all. Just like to say I hope everybody's keeping well and staying safe and staying indoors and not going out spreading the virus. After listening to what the Prime Minister said, I've took it deadly serious, as should you. Let's fight this virus together as a nation, as a family, as a team, and do the best we can to help others not get the virus and stay indoors. Very, very important. Listen to Boris, stay indoors. You know, I've had a person bring the gym over to me today. I've got a running machine here, weights, few free weights. I'm going to keep fit and I'm going to post daily videos of myself training and working out to keep you going, to keep me going. Everybody knows without the gym I'm finished. God bless, stay safe, stay indoors.
Meanwhile, British media are also reporting that Tyson Fury has reached a settlement and agreed to pay former promoter Mick Hennessy £1.5 million. Hennessy had launched a lawsuit claiming a breach of contract when Fury returned in 2018 and signed with promoter Frank Warren. Previously, he had been with Hennessy. So Fury has settled here ahead of what could have been a long-running court case, Hennessy getting £1.5 million. Dillian Whyte is training in Portugal ahead of a scheduled fight with Alexander Povetkin on May the 2nd, although that could potentially change, and I'll come to that in a moment. But he's spoken to Eddie Hearn on Instagram, updating Hearn and the world on what he's currently doing.
I had to drive 40 hours non-stop from my house straight to here.
Well, you drove there?
Yeah, drove. I didn't want, because I brought the dogs with me, so I didn't want it to fly. So I just drove.
What's it like over there? Quiet?
You know what? It's quiet, but there's food in the shelves, and I got a good setup here. It's a good base, you know what I mean? At home I would have no way to train. I have to stop training. So, you know, we thought about it, we planned, and we came here. And it's good. It's sunny here. Everyone's panicking all around the world, but it's not as bad as home, though, I'll tell you that. I should be in prime condition, physical condition. I need to be against Povetkin because Olympic gold medalist, former world champion. I only lost the 2 reigning world champions, 2 strong reigning world champions. So and the guy is technically good and he's awkward. So I know that, you know, obviously Marius Wack is a tough guy, but I know I had enough to beat him regardless. But against these kind of guys, Povetkin, you have to train hard. You have to put in the time in and come in shape. So, you know, I should be coming about 115, maybe 116, maybe it's 114. You know, last I was 122.
Got a couple more minutes. I got a question for you. If you could fight one heavyweight next, who would you choose to fight next?
Anthony Joshua.
Well, let's fight.
I'm ready. I'm ready. Don't toy with me.
And Eddie Hearn, he has spoken to IFL TV about upcoming events, remembering Matchroom has 3 heavyweight pay-per-view cards in the coming months. May the 2nd, Dillian Whyte and Alexander Povetkin. May the 23rd, which is Alexander Usyk and Derek Chisora. And June 20 between Anthony Joshua and Kubrat Pulev. So he told the outlet, I think so. We'll make an official announcement this week regarding those 2 shows, but right now the chances of boxing in early May are very limited, and even in May at all, and maybe in June. It's not just about a period being over, a quarantine being over, and we just go, okay, Saturday night, who's coming? It's going to take time for people to gain confidence, trust, and we want to go out again. We have contingencies in place to move Dillian Whyte to the middle of June, to move Derek Chisora Usyk back to the end of June, early July, and of course Anthony Joshua was due to go June 20 at Tottenham Hotspur Football Stadium. It really relies on the run of the Premier League now, because if Premier League extend their season, Spurs will need their stadium. We already have a reserve date that we're discussing with Spurs of July 25 for Anthony Joshua against Kubrat Pulev at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Meanwhile, one of Alexander Povetkin's sparring partners has not been able to travel to Russia to work with him. Jermaine Franklin had been due to fly out to Russia, but has been prevented by current travel restrictions. And his promoter, Dmitry Salita, says it's a wasted opportunity, but one that he will hopefully get in the future. But of Franklin, Salita says, and this is to Sky Sports, I feel Jermaine is the best American heavyweight, and once he is fully developed, he has the ability to be a heavyweight world champion. Being in training camp with an experienced fighter like Povetkin, who is getting ready for a big fight versus Whyte, is a priceless experience for him. Jermaine has such superb athleticism for a heavyweight. His talent is at least on par with Whyte. So that is Dmitry Salita, Jermaine Franklin's promoter. And that is obviously a big claim, saying that Franklin has talent on the level of a Whyte, currently unbeaten, 20-0, but really hasn't fought too tough a competition. Most recent victories over Rydell Booker and Jerry Forrest, and he didn't look that impressive in either of those fights. So Salita also says Jermaine is only 26 years old and will only get physically stronger. At that point, he will be ready for the elite. We'll have to see on that one. Trainer Teddy Atlas says he has still not met up with Andy Ruiz Jr. The former unified champion has expressed an interest publicly in working with Atlas. So Atlas, talking to Sirius XM, says, I haven't agreed to anything other than saying, if you're serious, you come to New York and you spend a couple of days with me. During that time, I would work in the gym, see how coachable you are, get an idea and feel your attitude, and ask some very important questions. I think important for you, but definitely important for me. Why is this important to you now? You're a multi-millionaire. Why is it important to you? Why? Why do you want to continue doing this? And what's your expectation? And I would listen to him, and I would have a decision to make. And he would have a decision to make, whether or not he could get along with my philosophy, that he could buy into what I believe. With a kid like Ruiz, it's almost like dealing. And this is going to sound harsh, and I don't mean it to sound harsh, but again, the truth can sometimes sound that way. It's almost like dealing with a drug abuser. You know, he's got a problem with eating, and if you had a kid that you were really trying to save from drugs, what would you do? You don't have to be a drug counselor to understand that you'd remove him from the things that are comfortable for him. You remove him from his surroundings. Well, the same thing with a Ruiz. I'd have to remove him from his surroundings. Oh, Teddy, you don't want him to be with his father. Oh, you don't want him to be with his family. Oh, you don't want to be a dictator. Yeah, you want to call it that? Go ahead and call it that. You have to do what's going to be able to change things. Teddy Atlas on training Andy Ruiz Jr. Clearly, if he does take him on, he is going to take a relatively hard line. And even if they did come together, I'm not sure I could see that being a long-lasting relationship. Heavyweight Otto Wallin is suspected to have coronavirus. So talking to TMZ, he said, "For me, it's been very mild. Monday night, I had a cough, I was sneezing, and I felt like I had a light fever. But I didn't have a fever, actually. And then I started feeling better. But then I lost all my sense of taste and smell. I don't have any smell still, but the taste is coming back. I feel fine. That's the kind of scary part. I haven't been feeling bad, but I most likely have it. That's why everybody needs to follow the guidelines and stay inside as much as possible and keep practicing social distancing. It can be really serious to some people." And Otto Wallin, not a good couple of weeks for the Swedish heavyweight, also having sustained a recent stress fracture in his left foot. Robert Helenius believes a fight between him and Anthony Joshua would be very good for him. So talking to Sky Sports, he says, "I think it would be a very interesting fight. I would like that very much. It would be fireworks and tactics, of course, but I think it would be a very, very interesting fight for me." So Robert Helenius recently won a WBA eliminator against Adam Kovnatski. So he is in the queue for a potential title shot at some point for a WBA title. It's not clear if it's for the Super Belt or for one of the other myriad of titles that the WBA has. So he continues saying, "I was very surprised that he got knocked down by Andy Ruiz Jr. He made mistakes, but he did well in the second fight. Ruiz and me are very different fighters. We are the same height. Anthony and me, I have been in a sparring camp with him. I have nothing personal against him. He's a very good guy. I think very highly of him, and I like him a lot, but I think I would beat him. I think it's because I've been training injury-free for a couple of years now. I've had a lot of problems with my shoulder injury and shoulder operation, dealing with a lot of problems with hand operations and stuff like that. I was sick, I'd had lung disease, and I think I'm bouncing back. I hope I will get the biggest fight. I don't really care who I'm fighting next, so I'm going to be ready for whoever comes my way." And rounding out this heavyweight news mashup video, Frank Sanchez, the Cuban heavyweight known as the Cuban Flash, says that F.I.A. Jagba, also an up-and-coming prospect, would be easy work for him, saying that "I can fight him right now. He is similar to Wilder in that all he has is the power in his right hand. When he fights a boxer like me who can move in the ring like me, and with my speed, I know I would beat him." What do you make of it all? Drop a comment, loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.